when you step into this beautiful Eros Gamuz journey, when you are embracing your divine feminine masculine, when you have this beautiful bond with God, when you have the understanding that you are always able to communicate with your divine counterpart, your life becomes so joyful, happy and peaceful. And you will feel and you will find in the capacity of your own heart that ability to check in with yourself every time, in every situation, and trust that the guidance that you are receiving is truly the guidance that you need. And the guidance that you need is always within you. It's always within you. On a 3D life level, as I said, you know, we all have friends and so on, but please remember, your soul knows the best what is needed for you in any given time, why you're receiving why certain events, people, situations, synchronicities are coming to your life. Your soul knows. And trust, please learn to trust yourself that and understand this, right? When you ask and surrender, when you drop to your heart, when you bring your soul to the 0 point, and when you make that beautiful connection with God, trust that the guidance you need at that very moment is exactly the guidance you will receive. And when you receive it, just trust it. Trust that guidance. Trust that it's coming for you. When you seek externally out with yourself, you are to some extent releasing, you are giving your power away, but you are releasing that element of, you truly are dispensing with God. You are just thinking, let me share this with my friend and she will tell me what to do. But you know, my love, of course I share my life and life events with my friends as well. But as I progressed in my ascension journey, less and less, and so many experiences become so sacred, so very yours, so deeply yours. There are situations where God is saying to me, and I'm going to share one with you right now, because for 2 days I was just so tired. And just so tired that I couldn't bring myself to do another life in the night. So God was like, hello darling, time to tell people about this, time to share this, darling. And there are situations where you will receive that guidance, and you know what, I know you know it. Well, I don't know even who's watching me, but sending you so much love. You're still here, holding on for a second longer. You know it, and it's important that you understand this. The guidance we receive is the guidance we hear for a reason. And trust that guidance. You don't need to test God, because you would be effectively testing yourself. When you're going and seeking the guidance externally, that's when you're testing yourself and testing God. You're releasing part of your own power and part of your own inner state of knowing that's so innate, deep, and sacred to you, to your soul. So that's why I'm called to share with you as well. But there is something else, and I am so buzzing. When I recorded the video earlier and I posted in my story, I think I was like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I am so happy. I don't know how I can share more love than I have, because if I could, you know, I could probably just give away everything I've got, but that kind of doesn't work right now. But I'm so happy, and I feel like I need so little to make me happy. That happiness is just constantly within, and that joy. And do you think that I don't get upset sometimes? I do. A lot of times I get upset, usually when I see suffering and pain in animals, people, and I can hear it actually internally, I can feel it as well. I also feel the suffering of other type of beings as well. And can I just say, can you see how my frequency, like my energy shifts immediately, because it's just the feelings are flooding in and understanding, and I just alchemize and transmute and embrace everything with love now. All the suffering that I can see, feel, I embrace, and sometimes very consciously I disconnect from the collective suffering. I make that intention and I simply disconnect from the collective, because I genuinely, my body is, we are processors, we are processing through our physical bodies as well, and I know that there's only so much one can take. So there is a limit, and sometimes you don't need to have any special technique for anything, guys. That's another thing that God will show you if you trust, and I'm sure some of you will understand this. Intention is the most powerful doer and bringer of anything that we want to achieve, because there is intention and then sense of knowing and believing that with that intention things just happen for us. So you see, the joy and happiness is always there. Now, and what I want to share with you is this beautiful thing that happened to me 2 days ago. Beautiful thing, but it's another, again, this beautiful way that God works when we are receiving synchronicities and confirmations that our life is so precious, and what we do in our life is so precious. How we treat people is so precious, and how we express our divine nature is so precious. And God confirmed to me, God confirms things to me all the time, but significantly 2 days ago I received the confirmation that me expressing that divine love and embodying divine love is impacting people, and sometimes you are not even aware how much it's impacting people, because you learn about this years later. And that happened to me. I had, you don't know, but maybe know, I'm sorry, my nose is running. Someone here is having a cold, my loves. And if you are doing this, I'm doing this with you. This is how I tune. So you may know that many years ago I used to work as a defense lawyer, and I was working with, I worked in the area that was quite, I would say, underprivileged, but I always had that love, and part of my path, ascension path actually, was to have that experience as well. And I did trials, and I did a lot of parole hearings, and that was one of those stories. I did a parole hearing for a soul, let's put it this way, for a soul. And I may say this to you, and it's been always the case. I had always that love for every being in my heart. I always did. And I had always carried the mission. I just didn't understand quite what that mission was. But I knew that through my life I was one, and the major mission was always to anchor love and embody love. And even when I was doing my work as a defense lawyer, I used to have clients, and usually they were the most vulnerable clients, the most vulnerable people from the most underprivileged environments, and young offenders as well, because at the time my son was maybe like 16, 17, so they were very relatable to me as well. But this one soul, and I have never forgotten that soul. I never forgotten. I couldn't remember the name, but I haven't forgotten the soul. Do you understand what I'm saying, my loves? I couldn't forget the soul. And I remember that when I was conducting the hearing, I remember what my submission was, and I remember what happened after, and I remember that it was very significant for my soul as well as an experience. So imagine this, 8 years later, that soul found me in my office and left me a message, and I called back, and the thing that I heard, just, I cried, but after. I didn't cry over the telephone, but I cried after, and I knew, and I want to share this with you because I said to God, you knew that I needed to hear it, because I was going through this, emotional moment as well, that I needed to hear it, that sometimes the victories that we achieve are really victories in private. Look, I'm getting emotional about this. Don't let me cry. Don't let me cry. The victories and the biggest victories in our life we achieve in private. Nobody gets to see them, and they are the most sacred and precious, because you know that your soul has at that point went through the threshold as well. It was a threshold for me. 8 years ago I went through that threshold, but 8 years later that soul came and told me that he never forgotten me, that he has stayed straight for many years and never reoffended, that he has never forgotten what I said about him during that hearing, because I was talking about his soul. I wasn't talking just about the man that was sitting in front of the parole board, but I was talking about his soul. And I think that that was what actually allowed him to come out and have a beautiful life for a very long time. Something prompted him to call me and find me, and he did. And do you know what? I'm grateful, because it was not just for him and his soul to express gratitude, but it was also for my soul to understand that there is impact sometimes that we cannot see on the physical level, but the impact we have on other souls is happening on soul level. And whatever we do in our life, my loves, whatever you do, whoever is watching me now, just remember, whatever you do, you may not see immediately what a beautiful impact you have on other people, but just keep going and keep doing what you're doing, because you are here watching me, which leads me to believe that you absolutely resonate with that message, and that your beautiful soul is also on the journey where you have opportunity to share your love, your gifts, your true essence with other people and other souls. And this is something that we can do very consciously. Love doesn't cost a thing, like Jennifer Lopez used to sing, right? My love doesn't cost a thing, and your kindness doesn't cost a thing. Show it to anybody and everybody, and show it all the time, because that's exactly who you are. You are love, you are kindness, you are compassion, you are God, you are all that. Let's just be that